Smell us now, lady.
Welcome to MeatEater Trivia.
MeatEater Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to MeatEater
Radio
Live. Welcome to MeatEater Radio Live. I'm your host today, Clay Newcomb, straight out of Arkansas, and I'm pretty sure this will rank up there with the top MeatEater Radio Lives maybe of all time because of my co-hosts Brent Reaves and Tony Peterson. Great to see you, boys. What's going on, Brent?
It's great to be here, man.
Are you happy to be here? Why are you here? Why am I here?
Because our boss told us to come here.
Right. So we're in Bozeman this week, and Tony's in Bozeman. We're like we're a little bit of the what do you call it when we're like the extensions of MeatEater that live out in the real world out there.
Yeah, we live in Fort Arkansas. You live in.
We are definitely a touch point to real people where we
Yes.
live and what we do.
Tell us, where do you live, Tony?
I live in just central Minnesota.
Central Minnesota.
Far cry from Bozeman.
Did you know that bears in Minnesota have the largest in the expanding ranges between the eastern deciduous forest and the Great Plains? Minnesota black bears have the largest documented home ranges of any bears in North America. Black bears.
I
Did you
didn't
know
know that, but I believe that.
There's some boars that have 400 square mile home ranges.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I live in the suburbs, just north of the cities. When everybody started getting Ring cameras and all these next door Facebook things, pages and stuff like that, the amount of awareness of black bears, just general population stuff, went through the roof. Crazy. They're everywhere.
Crazy. Well, I'm going to give you a chance in just a second to introduce yourself, Brent. But on today's show, we are in Montana. And we're going to interview a Tennessee wildlife biologist who's been diagnosed with alpha-gal, which is a major deal, really interesting tick-borne illness. And we're going to take you way back to a Throwback Thursday, one of the MeatEater Live favorites. We've got some great photos from Tony, Brent, and I that have never been shown before, never will be shown again. Will be deleted off the internet after this. These are these kind of photos, folks. We're going to show those. Then we're going to go back to talk with the director of the Public Timber Project, Stewart. And finally, we're going to wrap up with a Moultrie trail camera contest, velvet contest, and
Also, we'll be talking to Ronnie Cowan, who is
Tennessee wildlife biologist.
Oh, is that you did that?
Yeah, I said that like about 10 seconds ago.
Oh, that's an echo. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, so that's going to be great, and then we're going to go back and get some listener questions. So we really appreciate everybody signing on, and we're going to we're gonna talk to everybody online. It's really cool to have everybody there. So Brent Reaves,
Sir.
Man, what have you been doing? What are you excited about?
I'm excited. I'm getting ready for a big hunt in northern Canada, in Manitoba, in September. Just finished a project just about a month ago in Kansas on some decoy dog stuff with coyotes. Now I'm getting ready to go on this moose hunt. Absolute dream hunt for me. Archery moose hunt, but I may have a rifle and backup if we get to the 9th inning and we ain't got any meat in the freezer, because I am counting on. I had a piece of moose steak that you cooked from one of the ones that you killed, and it's fabulous. So the ultimate goal is to fill the freezer. Second goal would be to do it with archery.
Tony, I'll tell you what I told Brent, and I really don't want to influence him in any unnatural way, but I've decided on the big hunts in wild country that I've never been in, that are kind of like these once in a lifetime, once in 3 decade type trips, to take a bow, which a bow is what I've gravitated towards since I was a kid. That's what I typically want to do, is bow hunt. And I have taken a bow on some of those trips, and I find that rather enjoying this wild country that I'm in for 10 days of my life, I'm thinking about the limiting factor of that hunt, which is trying to get within 40 yards of that animal and kill it with a bow rather than enjoying being there. So the older I get, the more I'm kind of like less interested in the weapon on a hunt like that. Now, if I'm hunting somewhere else, I might be like, I'm taking a bow. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I absolutely understand what you're saying.
What do you think?
It's just different strokes, man. Like I wouldn't. People ask me about moose hunting all the time. I wouldn't moose hunt with anything other than a bow. Just like for me personally, that's what I'd want to do. But I absolutely get why you would do, where you would have that backup rifle with you. And to your point, Clay, I find myself, even though like I just love bow hunting more than anything, but I find myself more and more where I'm like, I just want to be someplace really special. Like I don't care about going here because I can kill a big one here or whatever. It's like I want to be in those places before I get too old. And so, the weapon choice for me is like, it's just kind of set in stone. I don't know why. That's just the way I am. But the important thing, it's the same thing as you're talking about. Like, I want that experience. I want to be in those places.
Yep.
It's a big part of it. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm going with some good folks, Craig McCarthy, North Mountain Adventures, and those folks, I killed a bear with them last year, big old chocolate bear, and they're just good folks. They actually came down and went coon hunting with us. Whole family, just good folks. Where you went with me?
What's that?
Where you went with me down there? They came.
Oh,
down,
right.
Stayed
Duck
at the
camp?
Yeah. Good folks.
That's the hunt you're excited about, Tony. What's the hunt this fall you're excited about?
Honestly, this is going to be a little crazy, but I picked up permission to bear hunt in Minnesota. On this property that's only an hour from my house. So the lightest lift to get there that I've ever had for a bear hunt, for a do-it-yourself deal. And I'm not going to hunt them, but my daughters, one of my daughters shot one in Wisconsin last year. One of them hunted Wisconsin, didn't get one. And so this is a no quota zone. We won't have big bears, but we should have some to work with. And I'm like weirdly excited about that because both of my daughters are just geeked up to hunt bears, probably because they know I'm going to pull them out of school the first week of school or first two,
Yeah.
They're going to get some vacation time early for this, but that one is kind of caught me off guard because bears haven't always been my thing. But when my daughters want to hunt them, man, it's fun.
Yeah. That's cool. You always say that, and it always surprises me because you're known as the whitetail guy. So I always think you're going to be like, oh, this tag that I got here or there. And like almost every year I talk to you, you tell me something about a bear. And I'm like, I want to hear some comments. Do you think Tony's feeding me what I want to hear? Is he feeding Clay Newcomb what Clay Newcomb wants to hear? Or is he being honest with the world? I want to hear your comments there. How authentic that was. I think he's telling the truth.
Well, when you do what we do for a job, and I love the whitetail hunts. I'm going to go try to decoy one in late October in western North Dakota, which is a place I just love to hunt.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that, but we sort of take whitetail hunts for granted because we do a lot of them, and that's just like such an omnipresent part of your life. So anything that I can deviate...
That's just different.
Right, if I can deviate outside of it,
Yeah.
and I feel like I learn a lot when I bear hunt because I'm not very good at it. Same thing with duck hunting. When I go duck hunting, I'm like, I'm not very good at this, and I just enjoy it because I'm figuring stuff out.
Of it.
Absolutely.
Kind of the novelty of it, yeah. So I was with Brent and Tony all week. We're here at the MeatEater go-to-market meeting for the year. So we've been seeing all the new First Light products that are coming out, FHF gear products, Dave Smith decoy stuff, Phelps stuff. We've been seeing all that. And I heard Brent the other day casually talking to Tony, who he's known for like a very long time. And Brent was like, hey, how's Wisconsin? And Tony's like, I don't know. I don't live in Wisconsin, but Minnesota's great.
It's not even close.
And
not even close.
That's pretty much what happened.
No.
Well, you got the state mixed up. Okay, people do this with us in the South. They're like, yeah, you're from Mississippi, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not from Mississippi. And I'm like, Arkansas. And they go, oh, yeah, it's kind of the same.
Right.
How many of you online do that between the Great Lakes states and the southern states? Like, if you just kind of get it right that Tony's from somewhere up there, it's okay. And, how many, like, which one do you get more confused with? Because I probably would have done the same thing, Tony. They're kind of all the same.
So I'm from Minnesota, And we have Steve from Michigan, Mark from Michigan. We have a lot of dudes here from Michigan.
Yeah.
People
Okay,
think
it was
I'm from,
Michigan and Minnesota.
right? But
I got you.
I don't take offense to that. I don't care at all. But I wondered if somebody says, "Oh, you're from Mississippi," does that like make your blood boil? Or are you like, "Oh, it's an honest mistake"?
Hey, listen, the states like Arkansas and Mississippi, they're at the bottom of the pile for every single thing. Built into our culture is an insecurity complex. I mean, it's like a sociological thing. We're built with it. That's why we're so passionate about the Razorbacks. It's like the only thing we've got. So if you try to staple me to another state, I'm like, dude, the only thing I got is this state. That's all I got going for me.
How much do you two think that you've personally elevated Arkansas just being from there?
The governor probably has a warrant out for our arrest. Probably. I don't know. I think we brought some eyes on Arkansas. Matter of fact, we had a guy contact us, sent us an email that because of the stuff that he was listening to on Bear Grease and This Country Life, they were moving to Arkansas.
Oh, don't say that stuff.
So
Arkansas is terrible.
I sent him an email and said, "Don't
Terrible
do that.
place.
We were lying. Don't come."
Did you ask him if he's heard of Bozeman?
You should move. Bozeman's a great town. It is. All right. Well, I can't wait to see you guys' photos. It's great.
Is that next?
No, it's not. But we are going to interview Ronnie Cowan. Ronnie is, I'll let him introduce himself, but Ronnie is in Tennessee. And we're going to talk with him about what he does, but specifically about alpha-gal, which is a tick-borne illness, which for years I've always told my kids, I was like, I'm more afraid of ticks than I am snakes. You know, when I was a kid, it was the snakes that our moms were scared of. Today, it's the ticks because
With good reason.
they're way more consequential, really. But if we could get Ronnie up. Hey, Ronnie, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Ronnie.
Man,
Hey.
look at tell us where you're standing. What do you got out in front of you there, Ronnie?
Yeah, so I'm at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. We're here at our UT Gardens. It's a demonstration garden. We have native plant species, ornamentals. That's very popular, and we do a lot of dendrology. I've hung tree stands out here. I do a lot of hunter advocacy and hunting skills education, and I'm standing behind Smokey 4 here. He is our school mascot, and I have a freezer queen here to my right that we teach shot placement, and we do a little bit of waterfowl stuff too in Tennessee, so I bought some teaching aids.
Oh, man. So the blue tick, though, is that a permanent statue there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Okay.
have statues of Smokey all around the campus. This happens to be Smokey 4. We're all the way up to the young teens here for our official real mascot, the Smokey dog. I think we're on 12 or 13. We've had several, but he is our official mascot here at the University of Tennessee.
I love it, man. Every time I see that blue tick come out, I get fired up. If I had a team other than the Razorbacks, it would be the Tennessee Vols. I mean,
we appreciate that.
It's true. It's true. I tailgated there last year at one of the big games with Brent.
Yep, it was a lot of
was
fun.
good.
Matter of fact, we saw Ronnie there.
Yeah.
That's right. We met Ronnie, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually coon hunted with Ronnie, and he and some of his friends came down and hunted with me and Michael at the duck camp, and that's when Ronnie told me about contracting alpha-gal. And it's interesting too because of his job. He's a wildlife biologist, and he's with the Extension Service, and they do a lot of educational stuff with kids there in Tennessee. And Ronnie's always out in the field teaching stuff to kids and stuff, and he's having to deal with this alpha-gal. And I thought it'd be interesting to have Ronnie on here to talk about how it's changed his life.
Yeah. How long have you had it, Ronnie?
I'm sorry, what was that, Clay?
How long have you had alpha-gal?
Yeah, I've had alpha-gal for about 2.5, close to 3 years now, and I contracted it, what I suspect to be during early archery season, pulled a bunch of ticks off of me, and it's the Lone Star tick that messes you up there down here in the south, and I suspect that it came from that area because I was getting a bunch of ticks on me, but Brent's right, I'm out in the field a lot. I'm an outdoor recreation specialist, so I'm in the woods a lot, and you know, if you recreate in the south, you come in contact with ticks all the time.
Was the tick? I've always heard that it's got to be on you for like over 8 hours before you can get any kind of infection from the tick. Is that true?
I'm not sure. That's what I've heard too. I don't specialize in ticks or anything. Unfortunately, I just was, contracted this allergen. But yeah, I have heard that too. And,
Okay.
I try to take care of that and pull them off. But, it's real easy to get those ticks that you can't see, and they're not always real detectable. So if that
Yeah.
is true, that makes you feel a little bit better. But that's
Maybe
still a
could
big
you fact
issue.
check that? What's the internet say?
I'll look.
Yeah, Brent's gonna look at that. Well, tell us what alpha gal is for somebody that might not know, and how it's affected you, Ronnie.
Yeah, so alpha gal is an allergen to a carbohydrate in mammalian meat. There's a lot of misinformation out there that I have found because it's such a new thing. Some people call it just a red meat allergen, but actually alpha gal is an allergen to all mammalian meat. So anything with fur or gives milk, you can't eat meat from it. So one night I had a really bad reaction. I don't know how to explain it other than having lizard skin. Woke up in a cold sweat and couldn't hardly breathe and didn't know what was going on. Took a cold shower. I took some Benadryl, and Benadryl puts me to sleep, so I was able to get through that. Knew I needed help, went to the doctor, and they got me into an allergist. And by the time I got to see a specialist, I had my second reaction. And it was very similar, but with some bad stomach issues. And eventually got into the allergist, and they were asking questions. And he would say, have you heard of alpha gal? And I said, yeah, I'm a wildlife biologist, and I do a lot in the outdoors. I've heard of that, but I eat red meat every day, and I don't think that's it. And he said, well, we're going to test you anyways. And they did an official blood panel, and at that particular clinic, they said that I had the highest levels of that allergen that they've ever seen. Which I was living in Florida at the time, but coming back up here in Tennessee and recreating. And so that was really kind of life-changing for me, being a biologist, and every meal that I eat had some kind of meat in it. So it was really life-changing and really hard to kind of mold around that. And it changed how I hunted and everything after finding that news out.
How do you eat now, Ronnie? Like, you can eat chicken, birds, fish. Is that the kind
Yeah.
of protein you can eat?
Yeah, so poultry, seafood, and fish, I eat a lot of, and I tell my wife if I ever get over this, I'll never eat fried chicken sandwiches again, because if you're on the road, that's about the only fast food you have. But luckily, poultry's pretty good. I do like seafood, but I do miss red meat and pork, and I've just about given up breakfast because it's hard to have a good breakfast without sausage and bacon. So I do a protein bar now and out the door.
Will you ever shed the allergy? Because I've heard of it kind of going up and going down inside of people. Do you think you'll
Yeah.
ever shed it?
Yeah, I have heard of people getting over it, and the allergists that I see here in Tennessee, they claim that you can build a tolerance to it, just like any allergen, that sometimes it leaves, but other individuals have it for the rest of their life. It really depends on the person, and I think they need to do some more research on it. But yeah, it can come and go, and there's different avenues. There's no medicine for it that I'm aware of. There's some holistic approaches with acupuncture and things that I've not tried. Some people swear by it, but I've not been told how that affects the allergen to a sugar molecule. But it was a big deal to me because I'm in the deer woods. I target deer species a lot in my hunting, and when I would harvest a deer, just the raw blood would bother me. I can.
Wow. So
I can
are you
cut
deer
meat.
hunting at all? Are you deer
Yeah,
hunting at
so-
all now?
So yeah, I still deer hunt, and I deer hunt with friends. And so if I do harvest one, and I've got some really good friends, when I harvest one, they help me with it. And it, for some reason, the raw blood breaks me out. And alpha gal, what's strange about it, affects people differently in their sensitivity. So some folks can't even stand the smell of it. I don't have that bad of a reaction to it, but the raw blood, once it's been field dressed and hanged, I can cut the meat, I can work it, I can fabricate it. I was a butcher in college, so we grew up doing our own meat, our own processing. I can still do that part of it, but getting out of the woods. The first season after I had alpha gal, I harvested a nice buck, and just moving the horns, taking pictures, gripping grins, I'd get the blood on me, and it would cause a lot of itching and a lot of irritation. And so my friends helped me out, but still, it's had to change the way I hunt. And luckily, my good friends turned me on to birds, and I went on my first duck hunt a couple years ago in Arkansas, fell in love with it, came back, bought a dog, a shotgun, and a new habit. And so I've kind of changed. I grew up on the side of a mountain here in East Tennessee, so the duck hunt was totally new. And making a long story short, in my job, I get new people into hunting, and I grew up hunting as long as I was old enough to tote a firearm. So me having to transition to another discipline, if you call it, really opened my eyes what it needs to take to learn a new skill. So even that, someone that's very experienced big game hunting for whitetail deer in Tennessee, transitioning to waterfowl, it was a whole new ball game. And my responsibility is getting other folks into it. So it actually, I think, gave me a good perspective of how to do so.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, I got a question, and I did a podcast about ticks several episodes ago, and we talked about alpha gal and Rocky Mountain spotted fever and the ones that are predominantly in the U.S. But I had some folks contact me and reach out about acupuncture treatment for alpha gal being a successful treatment. What's your experience with that, and have you discussed that with anybody there, with your physician or anything?
Yeah. My wife was the first person brought that to my attention. I know people personally have done it, and they swear by it, and they really believe it. And I'm not a doctor. I don't judge them, but it seems like to help it. I do know that they really think it helps them. I've looked into further research, and there's not a lot out there, but I do know that it goes in and out of remission, or can, as far as an allergen goes, just through what I have seen. So I don't know if they're experiencing just, a delayed response, or if it's actually working. But my friends that have done it, they go and they get acupuncture. They get a series of needles in their ear, and they have to walk around for a couple of days with those needles in their ear and come back and take it out. But I don't know how that affects the sugar molecule.
That sounds
but I do
as bad
know
as not being able to eat red meat, Ronnie.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer, but I do know those folks truly believe it. And so I'm not going to say it don't work. It's just,
Right.
I don't know how it works, and I haven't done that. So
last question here from Tony, Ronnie.
So
Yeah.
Ronnie, I've lived in tick territory my whole life. I'm just curious, after you got diagnosed with this and it sort of changed the arc of your life and just your time in the outdoors, did you kind of not take ticks as seriously before, and are you pretty vigilant about treatments, paying attention? Like how has your preventative kind of mindset, how has that changed ever since your diagnosis?
Oh, absolutely. So I always thought I took ticks seriously. We were concerned about Rocky Mountain spot fever and Lyme disease and things like that. And I would use your sprays and your deets. And really where I hunted at particularly, we worried about chiggers more than we did ticks. We've got a bad batch of them down here too. But I was pretty serious, but since I've caught this, I've been real serious, because the allergist says a great way to get over this is to keep the ticks off of you, which is a tall chore if you recreate in the outdoors. So, I have a pretty intensive plan where I dip my clothes in that perethrin or perethrin, however you pronounce it, and then I spray DEET. And even, this is not, maybe not the best advice, but, even putting around your ankles on bare skin, I don't know what they say about that, but it has helped me tremendously and shut a lot of that down, where you put it on contact points around your ankles, around your waist. Use the products available out there, because I obviously want to get over this. So I'm trying to take the doctor's orders and try to keep those ticks off of me. But we also, now that I bird hunt a lot, I take care of my dog too, and make sure that he's got a lot of the tick protection too, because another great way is for them bringing it into your house, bringing it into your kennels and things. So my hunting companions, like my lab, my bird dog, I always take care of that too, to try to keep it out of the home, and just real cautious of it, because if you're in shade, you're probably more likely to get it. And the bad thing about that spotted tick, the Lone Star tick, is, from my knowledge, that they sense your carbon monoxide and they actually hunt you. It's not like a deer tick that kind of hangs out and grabs onto you when you walk by it. Those ticks actively crawl and hunt you. So do the best you can to keep those things off.
Hey, man, we're rooting for you, and I think you're going to kick it, man. Mark my words, 2.5 years, you're going to be good to go.
I appreciate that, but I'm still keeping out there recreating and just making a positive and getting more people in the outdoors. And if you don't care, I'd like to tell a little bit about what we're doing with hunter advocacy before we go, just real quickly. That, we focused on the positives with hunter advocacy. We talk about that tick protection, but we also try to bring everybody into it for hunter advocacy. Part of my job here at the UT is, teaching these new hunters and kids how to get into outdoor recreation. So we talk about those dangers of the ticks and the bugs, but we also bring it back into the culture where they have a lot of fun and the importance of conservation.
Thank you.
Awesome work,
Ronnie.
Awesome work. Thank you, Ronnie.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. All right, man. That's scary stuff. It really is.
For real,
it could,
man.
It could change your life. Those dang ticks. I had ehrlichiosis one time, and the best way I describe it to people is, it's what it feels like when you die.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the sickest I've ever been was with ehrlichiosis, which is also a tick-borne illness that's more concentrated over in our part of the world.
Yeah.
Our dogs get it. We get it. But now it's time for listener feedback. I see a lot of listener feedback up here. Phil, what do you have for us? What are some highlight comments, questions directed to the team? What do we got?
Yeah, get them in now. We'll do this again at the end of the show. But first, we have a question from Adam. Clay and Brent, what can you tell us about this year's squirrel cook-off, and will you guys be there?
Absolutely, we'll be there. And it will be bigger, and it's like the World's Fair. It gets bigger and better every year.
September 13th, Springdale, Arkansas. It's a free event. It's the World Championship Squirrel Cook-Off. And, yeah, Brent and I will be there.
We'll be there. We wouldn't miss it. It's like Christmas. It's like redneck Christmas.
Yeah, it's a really neat event because the highlight of the event is that there'll be 40 teams cooking gourmet squirrel, and they feed it to the public. So
Come hungry, leave full.
Yep, it's really great. Yeah, hope to see you there.
Right on.
What else we got, Phil?
Freddie Rick, he asked this question every single week, even if we don't, but since we don't have a MeatEater menu segment today, I will ask the crew. Well, first, Freddie Rick says, I'm cooking a pronghorn neck right now to make barbacoa. What have the guys been cooking lately with their game?
I've been cooking fried fish and a lot of it.
Fried fish.
I love
Tony.
Yep.
So what I like to do is take my back straps out whole in the fall, and then in the summer, grill a whole back strap for the family. And since we had a bunch of redfish from Louisiana last year, I've been doing surf and turf, even though I can't eat the fish. My wife and kids love it, and so we've been going pretty simple, but it's so good.
Can't beat it.
I've been doing bear smash burgers. I've developed quite a reputation around our house for making some mean black bear smash burgers. And so I've got the patty like hanging out a half inch outside the bun, and I cook them on the grill. I don't cook them on like a griddle, like on a fire grill, but press them down real thin. And so been hitting a lot of those this summer. And I'm on my annual watermelon. I try to, for 60 days straight from July and August, full month, often bleeds into September, eat watermelon every single day.
That's
So,
a good. That's
but
a good
I've
goal.
actually, I just realized in Montana I haven't done that. But thanks, Freddie. Thanks, Freddie. What else we got, Phil?
Yeah, Tony, I think we might have gotten something like this the last time you were a part of the show. But Alan, it says, Tony, best advice for getting your daughter into hunting. My daughter is 4 years old, and this will be her first season getting into the woods with me. And I think this can extend to Brent and Clay as well, who are also fathers of daughters.
You know, I would say 4 years old. One thing that we do with kids a lot that I think we get wrong is we take them the first time like on a hunt where we're like, we're going to try to be the most successful as possible, even if your daughter's just observing, because at 4 she's probably not going to be shooting anything. But so for my daughters, it was a big deal to go out and set a blind with me, something simple, eat some candy, talk about the deer tracks, just sort of get them involved so they have that connection to it when I'm going to take them back there on some nice September evening or something when the conditions are going to be right and they're actually going to sit with me. And so it's just like, it's kind of like training a puppy, right? Like you have like a short attention span to get this thing to stick, and you want to leave them wanting more. So you make it special, right? You stop at Dairy Queen, get blizzards on the way home, whatever, but it's always like this just tight window thing. You get in something cool, do something that's tied to the next thing. Right? Or you walk them into the woods and you're like, we're going to go look for some berries or something. And oh, by the way, here's this little brook trout stream that we're going to come back to next week. And it's just this connection to nature instead of just going in and being like, this is how I'm going to kill a deer and you're going to watch it, which, whatever, might work for some kids. But for girls, I think especially like daughters, just that overall connection and like the recurring, like, We did this, now this. We did this, now this. And I just and plus that's just a good excuse to get out there more.
You know, Bailey's introduction was with my coon dog Waylon. When we got Waylon, he was 9 or 10 months old, and this was 2020. So Bailey was like in the second grade, second grade, I think. And we'd take an evening. We were all learning together, and we were just walking and talking. Only coon hunt when I coon hunted when Bailey went with me. Only time I ever remember talking about glitter, hair bows, anything along that line. But we made it fun, and we just had fun out there. And the best part about it was just being with her, just walking out there and showing her the things that I was interested in.
Speaking of Bailey, I think she might have hijacked your wife's YouTube account. She says, it's your favorite daughter with 4 R's. She says, Mr. Clay, look at my comments.
Yeah.
Hey, Bailey.
They're on their way to,
says, say hi to me.
Hello, Bailey. And Alexis B. Reeves.
Yeah.
You know, I think getting kids in, Tony's advice was so good, but to me, another point is involve them in the family culture inside of it. Like if it's just this isolated incident, like that you just their whole life is not connected to nature, then all of a sudden one day it is. You know, I think and I'd say I had overall success with my kids and the goal, which was not to make them hunters, but to make them appreciate hunting and wildlife conservation and wild places. And just, I think with my son who really stuck with hunting, and it was that involvement in the culture. Like he saw that his granddad did it and I did it, and we eat this meat. And this is part of just like what makes our family kind of who we are in a way, you know. So bring them into the culture.
I want to touch on one more thing about that. Even with 4-year-olds, make them do just like a little bit of work so they have a buy-in.
Yeah.
Like when you see a lot of parenting these days, we're doing an awful lot of stuff for our kids and like prioritizing their schedules and their lives. But even like when my daughters were little like that, if I made them carry a trail camera or do something, so I'm like, honey, you got to lug this into the woods, and then when we need it, we'll set it up together. And there's just a different level of buy-in for them. Like they feel different about it because they did a little bit of work. So like bear baiting with my daughters when they were young, which horrified my wife. But I'd be like, you're carrying a little bucket, a trail mix and gummies or whatever, and you're going to be a part of this too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's just like there's a little bit different impact there.
Yeah. Phil, do we have one more hot question, or shall we go?
We have a ton of hot questions.
Okay,
so
keep them coming. We'll try to move a little faster.
Sure. Mitchell says, question for Tony: is it plausible to train my lab GSP mix to both hunt grouse and track deer? I realize the season can overlap, but is there a risk of confusing her?
That's a great question. Dual purpose dogs used to be, can my dog duck hunt or waterfowl hunt? Can my dog upland hunt? And then somewhere along the line, guys like Tom Dock and a few other people started training for shed antlers. And so then people would be like, well, if I train my dogs for shed antlers, is it going to run off and forget about the roosters and look for antlers? It's like, that's not how it works. When you look at a long enough timeline with training a dog, we way underutilize them. Like a good sporting dog, a good working dog can handle a lot of tasks. So if you take that dog and you train it to blood trail, which is tracking dog essentially, they're not really blood trailing. That dog's not going to get distracted when it's time to go point some grouse. It's just not. But it's also an amazing off-season thing you can train for, because a lot of bird hunting, you can train for parts of bird hunting, right? Especially if you have a retriever, where you can do a lot of long-distance work and marks and all that stuff. But you can't do the hunt. Like you just mostly can't. But with shed antlers, with blood tracking or game trailing dogs, you can set that up all off season long. And people we look at that and go, well, that's a really good skill I want my dog to have, right? When my buddies, gut shoot an elk or whatever, I want to be able to bring my dog out there and find it. But it's also, as a dog owner, just going to help you level up that relationship, because now you have another reason to work with them and read them, and for them to read you. And now you have another way for them to solve problems with you and just level up. Like I encourage people to do whatever they can train their dog, like in this kind of arena, add on that skill set, work on it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's good. When Brent thinks about a dual-purpose dog, he thinks about his dog that'll tree coons and possums. That's a deep inside coon hunter joke. Because the
Nobody's
worst thing possible that a coon dog could do would be
Nobody's
to tree a
laughing,
possum.
but
Well, let us know in the chat if you appreciated that joke.
No, Brent has I can joke with Brent because he's got a top-notch Walker dog.
jealous.
Hey, I see 2 questions.
Oh yeah, I was gonna. We have another round of these at the end, and I was gonna hit you with a bunch of these, Clay. But if you want to tackle any of these now, let's do it.
Well, let's go. Let's move on. I tell you what. Let's move on. Let's come back to some of those. I saw a question about my book, which I would like to respond to. I saw a question about the Bear Grease Hall of Fame, which I would like to address. But now it's time for Throwback Thursday. Cannot wait.
On a Thursday morning, Stephen Brody, take me back to 1974. Throwback, I can't believe it. Did I
This is top
mention
shelf.
Stephen Brody, our old ass
This is one of my
shit?
favorites.
All right.
Bill Taylor, ladies and
Throwback
gentlemen.
Thursday. We're gonna put up a photo that Brent Reaves has sent in, and Brent's gonna tell us about this picture.
That right there
Wow.
is my great-grandfather, Lovett Reaves. That is on our old home place in Cleveland County. That would be in the mid-50s right there when deer,
That is a cool photo, man.
when deer were scarce. And
That could be the cover of a book.
few and
Oh,
far
yeah.
between. And if you look in the background back there,
There's that possum tree and wall.
there's a coon dog laying back there. Now, my grandfather was if you see the overalls and the pocket watch there, and I would give anything. If I could have one thing out of that photograph, it wouldn't be the antlers, and the watch would be number 2. But my first item that I would love to have is that hat that he's wearing right there. But he was a farmer and a woodsman, and he is the guy that introduced case knives into our family. That's the guy that started it all, and that would be Bailey's great-great-grandfather, and there's 6 generations.
Did you know
of us
him?
now. No, he died in 1964, I think, or maybe 63, but just a few years
So
before
that's
I was
your
born.
dad's dad.
That's my dad's grandfather.
So it's your great grandfather. I got it.
Yep.
Man, that for real. When I saw that picture, it looks like one of those photos that you got off the internet because it's so cool.
Yeah.
But it's like that's really your grandpa. I love that photo.
Yeah, it's a great photo. It's an absolute treasure in our family.
So those deer horns aren't around?
No idea. I'm sure they went with the rest of that deer that didn't get eaten right then. It wasn't a thing keeping antlers back then. Probably the biggest trophy of the deal was absolutely encountering a deer. And
They were probably using those walkers to run them, weren't they?
that, or I figure that they were probably squirrel hunting, and the deer came through because he wasn't leaving the house to go deer hunting back then because he's got a squirrel vest on.
Yeah.
And that's how I assume that deer got brought to the table. But I don't know.
That's cool. That's a
Yeah.
cool photo.
I'm really
Yeah, back
proud of
when I mean the traditional way to hunt deer in a lot of places in the country, but specifically the South, was using dogs to run them.
Yep.
Because there were so few deer. You just had to get them up and moving,
Get them going around.
And so a deer and a dog just went together. Today it's not as popular. Good job, Brent. Good photo.
Thank you, buddy.
Good photo. Let's throw Tony's photo up there for Throwback Thursday. Let us know what you think in the comments. Look at that.
That's 2 keepers in one photo.
So this fish, you guys, do you guys have smallies in Arkansas?
We do,
You
but
probably
they're
do,
not
huh?
this big.
Right. So, Clay, you guys know this, right? Somebody shoots a bear. Everybody says they're 300 pounds. You're like, they're 175 pounds. Somebody shoots a giant. You're like, maybe, right? But you see a picture of it, you kind of know.
Yeah.
In the bass world where I live, like to truly break the 6-pound mark is like you're just not going to do it very often, even if you fish a lot. Smallies or largemouth, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my little girl when I think she was 6. And we went out to this rock pile at sunrise, and we like to throw topwaters, right? And so I had her, she wasn't throwing a bait caster yet, but I had her with a 7-foot, medium heavy rod, braided line. So we use a lot of whopper ploppers. streamlined, pretty heavy topwater that you can throw a mile.
Okay.
And so we pull up to this rock pile, and she casts out there, casts it far, and that whopper plopper hits the water, and she reels like half a turn, and this fish hits. And, I heard a blow up, and she set the hook. She's tiny, and that fish came straight up like they always do, smallmouth. And I saw it come up, and in my head I just go, she will never get this fish to the boat. Like I didn't go for the net. I'm cheering her on, but I'm like, there's no way this fish isn't going to throw this in the amount of time it's going to take her to get it back in. And she leaned into that fish and fought it and fought it and fought it, and finally got it up by the boat, got it to where she could kind of work it around. I had a net with me. I netted that fish, and I don't mount fish, right? Like that stage is kind of gone for a lot of people, and it's the first time I'll never forget. I had the impulse. I looked into that net, and I was like, I'm throwing this sucker in the freezer, and we're gonna mount it. But so before I get judged on this, got it into the boat, measured it. It was just broke 22 inches, which is a crazy mark, right? Like when you actually start measuring big smallies, 20s and 21s, they're big fish, right? But that 22-inch mark up where we live is just no joke, right?
It's almost 2 foot long.
Right. And so we got really nice pictures of it, and I'm like, we got to let this fish go. And she didn't, she wasn't like, we got to keep it and stuff it, whatever. Like, that's not her thing. But it was like one of those things when she let it go, I'm like, you have no idea.
How many have you caught that big?
I have caught 2 for sure.
Okay.
In my life. That broke. I caught one that was 22, and I caught one that was 23, with 10 billion hours of effort.
Yeah.
Right?
What number?
I wasn't in first grade, right?
Yeah.
And so that was just one of those things where I was like, this is just such a beautiful fish. And, when you look at the studies of how old a fish that could be where we live, a couple hours south of there, they did a pretty good study on smallmouth a long time ago. And to get to 14 inches, which on the river where that fish, or where they were studying those fish, was a keeper, the slot, whatever. It was 7 years old.
7 years old.
And so you think about a fish that's a couple hours north, short growing season, hitting 22 inches. You're like, that fish might have been out there for 15 years. I don't know.
Right.
But a long time. And I just think that's cool as hell.
Yeah, that is really cool. Now, could you have gotten a replica made of that fish?
We could have. It's like
you're just not into that,
right? When you get really, we catch a lot of big fish, and we had really nice pictures of it. It was just this cool moment.
Yeah.
And so maybe I should have measured the girth and done the whole thing. I just didn't.
Yeah. In the South, we have, or at least in where I'm from, we have smallmouth in creeks and rivers, not as much in the lakes.
Right.
Like people, largemouth bass fish in the lakes, but you would go to the creeks and rivers in the mountains to catch smallmouth. And they, a big one, I don't really know length. Bear would know length pretty good, but, like a 2 or 3 pounder would be a nice creek fish.
Yeah. That's, I'm sure down where you live, that's connected to water temperature and rocks.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. If you don't have rocks, like boulders, you just don't have a lot of smallies.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Great photo. All right, let's go to this is the final photo in our Throwback Thursday. All right, so
Here is
the
Newcomb
picture.
here?
In the front of the four-wheeler there is my youngest son, Shepherd Newcomb, crying, wearing his cowboy boots. That's Bear John Newcomb in the middle there, who I think a lot of people know Bear. And if you'll notice, that is a live coyote tied to the back of the four-wheeler. And that day, it was in late summer, and we had gone to this place that we were going to deer hunt from some private land. And I took the boys, and we'd hung a stand, and it was a funny moment because I literally remember like wanting to make the trip fun for the boys. And I told them, I said, y'all stay here at this four-wheeler. I'll be back. And I really didn't know what I was looking for, but I knew I was going to find something and bring it back to them. I'm not kidding. I took off, and they're little guys, and they're throwing rocks and wrestling there around the four-wheeler on a little road. And I go off in the woods, and I don't walk 50 yards, and I see a litter of coyote pups get up in front of me and flush like a covey of quail. And they take off running, and I take off running after them. And basically, it was like a cheetah chasing a herd of gazelle. You know, one would split off to the right, and I'd stick with the two. And then one split off to the left, and I'd just pick the one. And I could run as fast as that coyote pup, but I couldn't catch it. And it took a turn and started going down this real rocky drainage. And I remember it just like it was yesterday. I'm running so fast, it's as fast as I can run downhill, running on this boulder patch. And I start to feel my chest and head lean out in front of my face. And I know I'm toast.
Yeah.
And I just go straight down, just fly through the air, land on the rocks, figure I'm all busted up. And also, Tony figured that the coyote has gotten away because he was like 8 feet in front of me, both of us running full speed. I bite the dust. And when I stand up, I see him. I saw him duck into a little hole. Like he gave up the chase immediately when I bit the dust. And so I jump up, and he's under this rock. And I flip over the rock, thinking Mama Coyote might be in there. I didn't know.
Right.
And there's that pup curled up on the ground. I reach and just grab him by the nape of the neck. Grab him up like this, and he just goes limp. And I walk back to Baron Shepherd, and boys, I'm telling you, I was the hero dad of the year when I walked back up and I had that coyote pup by the nape of the neck and said, "Boys, look what I caught!" And I had a little rope and tied him to the back of the vehicle there. And took him home, and we kept him for about a week. And I also, at that time, it was legal in Arkansas to have deer. And we were raising a deer at that time, too. And I kept the deer and the coyote in the same little kennel. And then the coyote, is everybody interested? I hope the story's not going too long. The coyote started, I thought, well, I'm going to raise this coyote. We're going to have a pet coyote. And it started getting mean and biting me. And so I knew I had to get rid of it. But and this is truth. I was worried about the legal ramifications of killing a coyote out of season. I mean, it was on a deer hunting property, like we're trying to get rid of coyotes. So you'd have thought I might have just exterminated the coyote. But I actually took it out into another place and turned it loose.
Why didn't you take it back where you caught it?
Because it's where I deer hunt, Tony.
He put it
So
on my
that's the
lease.
story of the coyote. We called him Wiley.
Very original.
Very original. All right. What a success. Throwback Thursday. Great photos, guys. We're now going to go on to interview number 2. We're going to be interviewing a guy that Brent knows. His name is Stewart from Arkansas. Brent, I'm going to let you take it over.
My buddy he is the director of the Public Timber Project there in Arkansas. He's a dedicated, lifelong duck hunter, waterfowler, good friend of mine, and I want to get him on here and talk about the stuff that he's doing. Can you hear us, buddy?
I got you. Can you all hear me?
I got you, man.
Thanks
tell
for
us
having
about. You're very welcome. We're pleased that you're here. Tell us about the project you got going. What the name of it is, what your role in it is, and what the plan is for Arkansas.
All right. Well, thanks again. My name's Stewart. I guess on paper, I'm the president of the Public Timber Project. And in reality, I'm just one of the fellows that started it, but one of us had to fall on the grenade and call ourselves the president. We formed ourselves as a formal nonprofit here in Arkansas, so we had to get organized on paper, at least at the very beginning. But in reality, the Public Timber Project is a grassroots movement for public land duck hunters all across the country. Of course, our focus was on issues that we were seeing in Arkansas on our public lands. So we're more of a social experiment and a movement than we are a formal nonprofit. And at the end of this, I'll ask folks if you want to support us by following us, reaching out. We don't really need your money right now. The only expenses we have is on ball caps and trash bags. But I'll step back a little bit and talk a little bit about why we started in the first place. And for folks that don't duck hunt in Arkansas and that aren't from the South and aren't aware, in the duck hunting world, hunting ducks and flooded timber is sort of the holy grail of duck hunting. If you haven't seen ducks finish through the canopy of the trees and land at your feet in the woods, man, you ain't lived. And there's only so many places we can do that. Arkansas happens to be one of the states that has more public land available for folks to carry on this tradition than any other state in the U.S. But most of the states in the South have public lands, state and federal, where folks can go and hunt this way. And it's an old way of hunting. It's an old tradition. This is duck hunting, flooded timber in the South. It's part of our culture. It's part of our identity. It's who we are. A lot of us, myself included, I'd rather get skunked in the woods than shoot a limit on a rice field, because it's something about being in the woods. It's the way we hunt. It's our history, our tradition. Like I said, this is culture for us down here. And things are changing, and not all for the better on our public lands. Here in Arkansas, we've got a lot of management issues I don't necessarily get into, but we've got a lot of challenges. I'll leave it at that. And one of the things that's come about in the last few years, the way the state and the feds are modifying and changing how they're managing these places, is that fewer and fewer places are holding water. So all these flooded timber areas in the South that we duck hunt, these are forests. It's forest management. These are forests that flood seasonally. As the Mississippi comes up in the winter and all the rivers in Arkansas and all the southern states flood up with water, these forests get water on them, and the water comes up and it lets the ducks come in there. It gives them safety, shelter, food. They feed on acorns and all the other food in these areas. And so if you have less and less water on our public lands, then the places that we do have water, what we're seeing is a huge concentration of hunters in these few areas. And probably nowhere is this more apparent the Black River here in Arkansas. And I hate to mention the Black River so much, because folks that locals up there that live and hunt up there, they don't really want everyone knowing about the Black River, but the word is out on the Black River.
It's no secret.
They ain't no secret, man. It's all over the internet and YouTube. So just to kind of paint a little bit of a picture on why the Public Timber Project exists, last season on Duck Opener at Ashbaugh Boat Ramp, which is one of the 3 probably busiest boat ramps on the Black River, we had 1,000 trucks and boat trailers lined up at the boat ramp. That line, it stretched out 1.5 miles from the boat ramp, and fellas were in line for up to a week before opening morning. That's 1,000 trucks and trailers at one boat ramp. There's no trash services. There's no porta potties. And the impact this is having on this area, it's an unintended consequence of our current management, if that makes sense. We're really impacting these areas in a way we're causing damage to some of these areas. So we're seeing changes like that happening in duck hunting in Arkansas and the South. We're seeing a lot of areas that we used to hunt that aren't holding water and aren't holding ducks. And we're seeing this huge concentration of hunters on fewer and fewer public land areas that have water and have birds. Okay, we're seeing some other big changes on public lands down here with duck hunting, that it's sort of, all this stuff fits in together. Probably one of the biggest ones I'm really concerned about is the changing demographic of the public land duck hunter in the South, in particular in Arkansas. Now, when we all grew up, if you duck hunted in Arkansas at all and you hunted public, if you weren't a rich man, if you were a poor kid like I was and you hunted a boat ramp because you couldn't afford membership at a private club, you were going to run into a whole litany of fellas at the boat ramp. And there was going to be plenty of old timers there that had been doing it their whole lives, that had a thing or two to teach the rest of us. Well, because of this increase of pressure that we're seeing, we've run off all our old timers. You just don't see them no more out at the boat ramp. So what we have is basically a angry mob of 23-year-olds that are being mentored by YouTube. And if you watch YouTube, boy, I love YouTube.
Preach it each.
Well, if you were to talk to my dad, who still duck hunts with me, he's 78 years old, he'd tell you that there ain't a show on YouTube that ain't treetop and birds.
Yeah.
So the point being that these young fellas are getting into duck hunting. They're not being taken out by their dads and their uncles and their granddads. They're learning everything they can from YouTube. And in our opinion, that we're making the wrong folks famous in duck hunting. And we've got some just bad examples out there. And we're seeing our culture shift. We're seeing traditions and the ways we used to hunt, things that got passed down from generation to generation, is we're seeing it erode and change and all but disappear from the landscape when we go duck hunting. And so as a response to that, like every other duck camp in Arkansas and the South, you know, we sit around and we complain about all the problems with duck hunting. And I guess at our camp, we decided we wanted to do something about it. And you said preach. I hate preaching, but it really talking cheap. Everybody in duck hunting's preaching about duck hunting. So we thought from the beginning, hey, if we're going to change things for the better, it needs to be through action and not just a bunch of talk. So last fall, we started doing cleanups here in Arkansas, and we started off down on the White River at Clarendon at a boat ramp that's probably one of the most trash places that you could launch a boat to go hunt ducks or anything out of the woods, but a real busy boat ramp. We did a cleanup. Not really. We didn't really have everybody show up. There's a few of us. And but we thought this is a good place to start. We just need to start showing up, organize duck hunters, and get folks to come out of the woodwork, show up to our cleanups, get involved in a positive way, making a difference in our woods. And the next cleanup we did, we had a couple people show up. And then the next one, we had a couple more folks show up. And it slowly started building. And we realized early on that these cleanup projects, these boat ramps were working. The other thing that happened is we had a lot of duck hunters reaching out to us across the South and all of Minnesota, Canada, all over the place, that started finding out about us on social media, what we're trying to do, and they wanted to get involved, but they couldn't make it to any of our organized cleanups. And so we started our hat campaign, which is basically duck hunters, clean up your local area. There's public lands that you love, that's where you hunt. Take ownership, clean them up, pick them up.
That's great.
Be a good role model. Send us the picture. And we want to fill social media with positive images coming from the duck hunting community, as opposed to the fist fights and duck holes and the horse races to get to your spot. There's far too much negative press. We're our own worst enemies out there. We're painting a picture to the AGFC and to all the land management agencies that
Can I interrupt you just for a second, man? This is incredible. I'm enthralled. For sake of time, man.
Yeah.
How can we help you? Where can people get involved?
Thanks for reeling me in, because I could talk for an hour. But
I think you did.
First thing is find us out on social media, on Instagram at the Public Timber Project.
The Public Timber Project.
Okay. The Public Timber Project. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok under the same name. We've got some short films coming out. We've got a full-length film coming out later this duck season. We post our organized clips on there, and all of our contact information is on there. If anybody's involved, message me on Instagram, and me or Blakely, somebody else, will reach back to you within the hour.
Okay, man. Awesome.
Take it from there.
Hey, thank you, Each. Really appreciate you coming on today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, love it.
Excellent. All right, buddy. Man. Take care. Take care. Wow. I had no idea there'd be 1,000 boats lined up at a ramp.
And that's just one access. You know, that's
incredible.
That's one access. I remember 25 years ago, my brother and I would go to a public access on a Tuesday, hunting public ground, and be the only folks in the parking lot. Times have changed.
The good old days.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Each Stewart. All right, we're moving right along to our Moultrie Trail Camera Contest. And it's on this. Our friends at Moultrie are sponsoring a contest where we're going to be giving away a camera. And we're going to look at some photos. What do you think? Do you think we should look up the photos first just to get some good vibes going, and then talk about the Edge 3. What do you want to do, Tony?
Sure, we can do that.
Everybody
We kind of need to move it along here a little bit.
loves a good trail
Let's
cam.
let's put up the trail camera images. The winner will receive 2 Edge 2 First Light Spectre Camo Edition Moultrie cameras with a 10-watt solar pack bundle with it, and a $250 gift card from the MeatEater store, a $250 gift card to First Light. This is a huge prize package.
Huge
And a case knife. Brent Reaves signature mini trapper.
Hey.
That may be the biggest thing there. Yeah, this is a huge prize that's going now. Phil, it's going to one of these.
It's going to one of these, and here's how it's going to work. We have 4 entries. You guys are more than welcome to, add as much commentary and your opinions as you'd like, but the winner will be selected by the live chat. I will put up a poll.
Okay,
After we look at all the pictures, the live chat will vote for a couple minutes, and whoever has the most votes will win that crazy.
Okay, so we're going to need everybody's help. Phil, show us the first picture. First trail camera photo in our contest. Bam! We've got a big woods timber velvet buck, and the what we were trying to do here was get people to show us velvet bucks. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
but,
Right. That
but
was the
every
theme.
trail camera contest has a theme. This month's theme for the Moultrie Trail Camera Contest is velvet buck. So that is a beautiful image right there of a big old buck.
I see white oak acorn trees. Mm-hmm. I see some hickory trees.
I like that kicker
I'm
in
trying
those
to
brown
narrow it
tines.
down.
I was wondering if we were working with a river bottom situation here.
It looks to
that
me like
that
it
looks
is.
like a southern river bottom buck to me.
Right.
All right, so
good
we
dude.
got we're going to call that the big buck from Andrew.
And this is from Andrew Molino, number 1.
Okay, that's number 1. Let's go to
Andrew's
number
my
2.
new favorite person.
Ooh, airborne.
Ooh, is that a muley?
That's a mule deer jumping a
Rattlesnake.
a little
Gila
little
monster.
drawl there.
Got a little buddy behind him.
Yeah, I see
What's
a
behind
little
him?
buck back there.
Oh yeah, I see it back there.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's an
like,
action photo.
photo.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, that's from I Like Hunting.
Okay.
Number 3 is from C. Knudsen or CK Knudsen.
Wow, look at that albino buck. That's impressive.
Right.
Yeah, even the velvet's white. Check that out.
That's impressive. I'd like to know the history of that story. Looks like looks like a 2024 photo. It appears to be a northern photo by the spruce or
I was gonna guess Wisconsin.
do they have a lot of white deer up there? Yeah. That's impressive. I mean, I'll probably never get a trail camera picture of a white deer, so that one's
I seen
pretty
a
high on
white
my
doe
list.
in Missouri, not far from where we turkey ended up.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Okay, last photo in the trail camera contest this month. We've got
let's
a
shed some
half
velvet.
shed velvet buck. Those are always really cool because that happens really quick. There's just this very short
Right.
window of time, like hours,
Yep.
That's
in a
Eric
year
Kessler's photo.
when a buck shedding his velvet.
I watched a bachelor group when I was hunting in North Dakota one time go in and bed in a little drainage, and the buck that I wanted to shoot in the group was velvet when he went to bed, and when I watched him get out and come start walking toward my stand, he had shed it completely.
Really? Did you kill it?
I didn't kill him, but I killed his buddy.
Okay.
He ran.
that.
He
Okay.
ran right on through. He had a destination to go to. I couldn't stop him, but I took a consolation prize. I was pretty happy, and he was in full velvet.
Okay, so we're
All
going
right,
to need everybody
Let's
to
do a recap here, and then we'll start the poll here.
Okay,
Number
so
1.
the first one is the big buck. I feel like for pure aesthetics of lighting, imagery, beauty, that's going to be hard to
also-
beat. Go to the next one.
It's also a recent photo.
Was it recent? Yeah. Here we got the action photo. This is our action photo. Okay, so there's something cool
Number
about
2 is
that.
the flying one.
Okay, yep. And then we got the once in a lifetime kind of photo. You know,
Right.
pretty impressive. Big buck too. Usually, if it's some little scrapper, I'd be like, "That's cool. That's a big old buck too."
Right.
That's a
So
full
that's
body
impressive. And then we got the
Number
we got the
4,
nighttime
the oozing-
shedding
oozing
velvet
guy.
buck.
All right, starting the poll right now.
Should we discuss what we think, Phil?
Yeah, you guys keep talking.
Well, go ahead. What do y'all think? Which one you least impressed with? Which one you voting for? Let's make it quick.
They're all impressive. I have at least experience with muleys, so that didn't really. I mean, I like the photo because of the action.
Yeah.
But the big one stands
Didn't
out.
grab you.
The big one in standing in that white oak bottom. That grabbed me right there.
Yeah.
And it's like a 3-day-old photograph. Whatever
That's
the
cool.
day is.
That's cool.
That's right where I'm at too. When I look at that picture, I mean, obviously it's a beautiful deer, but where it's at, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I just love to hunt. So I look at that picture, and that picture brings me into a place where I would see a deer like that.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with the team here. I would be voting for Andrew's big buck number 1. But I think you could make a case for the albino buck.
It is the poll is very tight right now. So if you haven't voted yet, get in there and let your voice be heard.
Andrew, if you're out there, what are the chances that
Brent
can come hunt that buck with you?
I'll film you with my shotgun.
No, you can film Brent. All right. 4 photos, big buck, muley, albino buck.
I'm going to give you guys, you got 10 more seconds on the clock here. And those 10 seconds can make a difference. That's how close this is.
It's that close, guys.
Nice. I mean, that
and the winner of this gets a huge prize package. 2 Moultrie cameras, MeatEater gift card, $250 MeatEater gift card, $250 First Light gift card, and a Brent Reaves case knife signature mini trapper. Huge prize package. Huge.
You need a drum roll, Phil?
I think I might have a drum roll here. I don't have a drum roll, but I do have a winner sound, whoever wins. I'm sorry.
I think the big buck's going to win. I think the fact that all 3 of us would have picked that one.
I have ended the poll.
Poll is ended.
So in last place, with only 3% of the vote, was the number 4 from Eric Kessler, the shedding, oozing.
Thanks anyway, Eric. That's
yeah,
cool
thanks
picture.
for the submission, Eric.
Cool picture.
And then in third place, with 27% of the vote, was your guys' favorite, Andrew Molino's big
27! Wow.
And so in second place, with 32% of the vote, we had the flying buck from I Like Hunting, which means the albino buck from Chad Knutson. You're the winner.
Congratulations, Chad. Congratulations. I'd like to know if that's a deer that you had access to. What happened to it? Did somebody get that deer? Is he still out there? That's pretty cool. Well, man, congratulations. And, man, you got a lot of decisions to make about what to do with those gift cards and, where Brent's going to hunt up there with you. So, congratulations.
I can't find the right ones.
Tony, tell us about the Moultrie Edge 3.
All right.
There it is.
So I got a Moultrie Edge 3 right here in this fancy box. We learned all about these dudes yesterday. So, I mean, this isn't my world, but some of the listeners here, Southern guys running feeders, they have Moultrie Connect. You can basically manage and monitor your feeders, and it's a whole system. It's a totally way more efficient way to live in that world, which isn't my world. What is my world is trying to find big bucks on a natural pattern. And, I know AI is sort of a buzzword out there right now. Anybody who plays in the stock market or messes around Wall Street bets, you're seeing NVIDIA and you're seeing Palantir and these companies they're doing a lot with AI, or you hear about a lot. Well, Moultrie has Moultrie AI coming out on this Edge 3. And one of the things this can do is help you filter through to only get videos of bucks sent right to your app, sent right to your phone, instead of getting notifications for all the other critters, does, whatever. If you want to select it down pretty far, you can.
Yeah.
You can kind of customize it too if you want to get just photos of non-target animals or photos of all animals, but also get videos sent to you of bucks. You can do that too. And I keep thinking about this. I'm heading back down to Nebraska where I'm hunting with Steve this fall. I have a whole bunch of cameras down on this ranch that we're hunting. It's a brand new property to us, working cattle ranch. And so I put up cameras, and in some spots I'm getting cattle, I'm getting beavers, I'm getting geese, I'm getting lots of raccoons, non-target animals. And so when I go back down there, I'm going to swap out some of those cameras with these Edge 3s because I'm filtering through tons of photos.
You don't want to get notifications about cows.
Right.
When it sends out a picture to you, it's using battery life. So
Of
the
course.
Moultrie AI, when you program it, and some
Right.
of these guys that are putting cameras over feeders are potentially getting hundreds of pictures a day.
Yeah.
Right. Well, right. And when you put up a camera in a pasture that doesn't have cows in it and they put in cows, you get hundreds of pictures a day too.
Yeah.
So this is, I like pictures of deer. I like pictures of all animals, but this is like our rut hunt. So I'm kind of just trying to key in on the bucks. The other thing I'll say about this quick, this isn't new to the Edge 3, but it is a feature of it. A lot of cameras for a while had like a live aim feature. They had some kind of viewing window, LCD screen, whatever, so you could set it up and point it in the right direction. Because I do a lot of like public land hunting. I'll put them up high. In this situation, because we knew cows were going to get rotated through there, and I didn't want them to mess with the cameras, you're mounting them higher and pointing them down. And so there's a live aim feature on here that you can go to your phone and see exactly what you're seeing.
Right.
So I can customize that and set it up exactly the way I want to, so I know when I walk away, I'm not waiting for that test picture or anything like that. I'm like, okay, I know this is going to be aimed exactly how I want it to be.
Yeah. Man, the Moultries, I'll tell you, that one of the things I was most impressed about was the price point on those things. And I don't know exactly what that's going to be, but I mean, this is like under $140 camera.
It's like $149.
Yep.
Yeah, $150 camera. Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty inexpensive. And the some of the other cameras are less or cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Right. And the last thing I'll say about this too is, it wasn't that long ago in cellular cameras where we had to select a Verizon, select a carrier, right?
That's
Verizon,
right.
AT&T, whatever. Now you can connect to all major carriers with this. So whatever company has the best reception, wherever you're going to go. So in the whitetail world, maybe not that big of a deal in a lot of places, but if you're trying to monitor a water hole or a wallow for elk, or some of the Western applications, and just some places, you know how it is. Like some places you go where, for whatever reason, your buddy's got Verizon, he's got awesome coverage, and you have AT&T, and it sucks. It's kind of nice to not have to worry about that anymore. It'll pick the best one and use it.
Yep. Excellent. We're moving on to the end of our show here, guys. We appreciate everybody being here, commenting. We're going to take a last round here of listener feedback. Phil,
Yeah, we'll knock out a few.
got?
Let's go ahead and talk about your book, Clay. Where's the question? It was somewhere. If you just want to start talking about it.
Yeah, I had somebody ask about the book.
Here we go. It's from Mogor. Hey, Clay, how's your book coming along? I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, man.
That guy right there is he may be the most loyal listener ever. I see him every.
He lives in Hungary, Clay. I
Yeah.
don't know how often you watch the show,
Really?
but he's here
Every
every
time,
single week. He's got great questions. He's got a Bear Grease hat on. He's a big fan.
Oh, man, the book is going incredible. It's changing my life. It really is. Just the discipline involved in the level of research. We do a lot of research on bear grease, but I've never had to research stuff like we are for this book. And we're still a long ways from Clay's book coming out, Tony. But I'd say we've got a third of the book in a format right now that I would feel comfortable, sending to somebody.
Can you share the target date with it, or is that still low?
It's not really.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but the book is about the American black bear. It is the bio of the American black bear told like it's never been told before. Guaranteed. Book has never been written like this before. It's going to blow your mind.
From Freddie Rick, another food-centric question. He says he doesn't have much access to squirrels here in Nevada. Do you think I could replace them with jackrabbit for recipes that call for squirrels?
Yeah, I ain't never had a jackrabbit, but if they taste anything, I mean, here, what you gonna do with a squirrel is what I'm gonna do with a cottontail, and that's fry him, powder his behind with buttermilk and flour, and throw him in some hot grease.
I don't have a lot of experience with jackrabbits. I hear bad things about them, though.
Yeah,
Right.
Steve was talking crap about them the other day.
I think frying them would be the best bet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're going to pull it off or not.
Yeah, I ain't never had one.
But good idea.
Let's go ahead and talk about that Hall of Fame question. Tigers fan 6884.
Yeah,
Clay, aren't we due
so
for some
if
more
you're
Bear
not
Grease
familiar
Hall of
with the
Fame?
Bear Grease podcast, we have an official Bear Grease Hall of Fame, which typically goes to I believe there are 9 or 10 people that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. There's currently 3 living people in the Bear Grease Hall of Fame. Some of the more famous candidates would be Daniel Boone, Tecumseh, Osceola, Davy Crockett. Some of the less well-known people would be the living plot bear hunter in East Tennessee, Roy Clark. Warner Glenn's in the Hall of Fame.
James Lawrence.
James Lawrence, my my buddy, mentor, backwoodsman from Arkansas. So a lot of variety in the Bear Grease Hall of Fame. There's one woman in the Bear Grease Hall of Fame, Granny Henderson, Eva Henderson, martyr of the Buffalo River. And, man, you can't make this happen, Tiger. It's got to happen on its own, brother. I mean, we may go for a decade without a Hall of Famer. This is not staged, so we're just waiting for the next legend to pop up. So, good question, though. Appreciate you paying attention, brother.
You're talking like Hulk Hogan.
Brother, I really appreciate what you're doing out there.
Let's do one more for Tony. Jacob says, how old is too old to train a dog to blood trail? I'm colorblind, and having a dog has helped me find 2 deer. My lab is 8 years old, and I'd love to have her help me.
Well, old dogs can learn new tricks.
100%.
And I don't think there is an age where you can't teach them stuff. It changes how you train them a little bit, but teach that dog to blood trail. I mean, you're not going to take anything away from that dog, and it will learn what to do. I mean, the first dog that I trained to shed hunt was a golden retriever I had several dogs ago, and I think she was 5 or 6, probably 5 when I started teaching her, and it wasn't any different than taking an 8-week-old pup and being like, here's what we're starting with. We're stringing together these behaviors, and you daisy chain them together until you finally have that skill set, and then you work on that. So train that 8-year-old lab. That lab will love it. It'll help you find some deer.
Excellent.
Great.
Excellent.
Let's call it there, guys.
Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining MeatEater Radio Live. I'm certain that this is probably one of the best ever.
100%. You got my vote.
Yeah, let's vote on. Just raise your hand
hands.
if you think this is probably the best ever MeatEater Radio Live. Oh, Phil, we got a
Phil
vote
voted
from
twice.
Phil. That really
Unanimous.
counts. And from Jake, our producer here. Hey, everybody, thank you so much. I can't wait to tune in next week. And you know what? Keep the wild places wild, because that's where the bears live.
Case pocket now.